The second FNAF movie has just started production. Well, I guess technically pre-production. I am so hyped for this. Yes, I had mixed reviews on the first movie. Yes, I think it could have been better. I'm still so hyped for this, however. I'm hoping they made enough money to increase the budget and they listened to some of the overwhelming amount of criticism the first movie got. And I think I said this in a previous video. If not, I definitely just said it to a friend. I have been more hyped for the second movie than the first. I didn't set my expectations too high and I got pretty much exactly what I expected. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I have much higher expectations for the next movie. Hey girls, guys, and all people like it, is Monks here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about the sequel to the FNAF movie, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I haven't talked about FNAF in kind of a while, and honestly I miss it. My channel kind of grew because of FNAF, and although I am starting to branch out into other things, mostly medieval fantasy type other things, if you want to check out my recent videos, but I can't leave FNAF behind. It's my unhealthy obsession. So here we are, we're back on the FNAF movie updates Twitter page, X page? I'm still gonna say Twitter, I'm sorry. Big news, everyone. We've gotten confirmation that Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is officially set to begin filming on July 1st, 2024 in New Orleans. I do not know where the first movie was filmed. I did know at one point. I don't anymore. But I'm so hyped for this. This is awesome. This is so cool. July, that's not too far from now. What month is it? January, February. Months. What is happening? 5 months from now. That actually sounds a lot longer than it is. I'm pretty sure that amounts to like 100 something days, which makes it seem somehow a little bit shorter, but that's amazing. That is great news. I'm gonna kind of spoil the illusion here. I have all my links that I wanted to go over kind of lined up. So some of this is from different people. For example, here we are on the Fazbear Combo News Twitter page. I'm not sure if I've shown this page off before and they just changed their name recently. I don't know. FNAF news has gotten very confusing post FNAF movie for me. That was something that I was able to keep up with very easily and follow. It has gotten a lot more confusing since then because the FNAF movie pages have needed to like fill the gaps with other things. Anyway, rambling content creator stuff. So I'm not sure what they're never minding. I don't know what that's in reference to, probably a previous tweet of theirs. They also said that they're starting to film in July. Emma is in talks to come back as director, and Scott with Seth Cuddenback wrote the script. We're actually same people doing the script writing. There is some upcoming news that is gonna make people happy about this because I feel like some people might want a change of pace with writing and the writing direction for the script and everything just because of how the first movie went. And in between cuts of scenes, me looked it up and Emma something is coming back as the director. Thank you, Editing Me, for putting her full name up. Awesome, very cool. I enjoyed the first movie. I have a whole review on it if you want to check that out before getting into FNAF 2 stuff, but I have faith that all these people will do good things with the upcoming movie. Alright, Fazbear Combo News also says that Five Nights at Freddy's 2 horror will be even more due to the feedback. I feel like that was a weird way to word it. I also saw Johnny Blocks posting about this. Blumhouse's upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's 2 will reportedly have a larger focus on horror after feedback from the first film. This is such huge news. This is amazing. The first movie could have been so much scarier, like all the things, all the review stuff that people have been talking about. And I think they kind of have to nail this because FNAF 2 is a fan favorite in my opinion. I've seen a lot of love for that, more so than kind of any of the other games. I'm not sure why that is. It kind of just tends to have a sweet spot in people's hearts, I guess, and kind of the same for me. It's one of my favorites for sure, definitely in the top 3 probably. And just because of the things that they did in this game, they kind of need to nail it for the movie and make it maximum scary as best they can. If it's still PG, I really think they can get away with a good horror movie while still keeping it PG if they want to. Making it rated R is not a bad idea though. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not a bad idea. But yeah, generally FNAF 2 has the opportunity to be much scarier, much better. And there's more to go off of there. There's a lot more story things they can use and a lot more spooky scenes that they can pull from just straight out of the games. Like I'm so hyped to see the puppet coming out of that box. It's gonna be, God, it's gonna be peak. I'm hyped, very hyped. This does beg the question though. I saw this while kind of just scrolling through Twitter. Very good question. And this makes me think, how is Toy Chica gonna look in the sequel? Everyone in the past movie was 1-to-1, so they wouldn't add anything else to her, right? Yeah. I've had a very strange conversation with a good friend of mine about FNAF simps and stuff because they're possessed by kids' souls. Yes, I did make a FNAF baddies tier list thing as a YouTube short. Top 5 FNAF baddies. It's a weird topic. It's a very strange topic. People simp for the animatronics themselves. I had a full conversation about this where attraction comes from both body and mind. When mind is not there, body not not there. Big brain. That's my explanation for that. So I'm sure it is still going to be 1-to-1, and I'm actually really looking forward to that because I think they did a phenomenal job with the animatronics in the first movie. Toy Chica simps they're going to be there. They're going to be there. That's all I'm saying. They're going to be there. All right, and this is kind of just random news, but also from Fazbear Combo News. The art and making of FNAF movie book was taken off the Scholastic listing. It looks like it has been canceled. So they posted about this previously, but I guess they were making a book, like a behind the scenes book, which I think is really cool. That's a really awesome way to kind of, well, for them make some money on the side and also show their behind the scenes process, which I, as a content creator, find actually very interesting. And that's something I kind of would have liked to look into. I'm not a big fan of 90% of the FNAF books in general, but that might have been one I would have had up on the shelf. Speaking of books on the shelf, I do this occasionally. I get a book, I tell you guys about it, I tell you what's going to go up on the shelf. I got an encyclopedia of Tolkien. You can see that, right? And it's going to go there somewhere, not right now because that space is kind of full. So speaking of which, oh, you guys can't actually see my mouse on the screen. I have to use my finger. I've been getting made fun of by my friends and family for this recently. I have 3 copies of The Hobbit up there and 1 more copy of The Hobbit in my shelf. I'm going to Comic-Con this weekend, which I'm insanely hyped for. I'll try to get some videos that I'll put in between stuff on the channel here. And I'm actually going to get my copy of The Fellowship of the Ring, signed by Frodo himself, which is so cool. This is a very weird spot for me to throw this in there. It just kind of popped up in my head. But I have 4 copies of The Hobbit because I bought one used recently to reread. And then I found this one, which just looked very nice and it was cheap. So I was like, okay, it's better than my used copy that I bought. And then I got this, which is a pack of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings books. So that makes 3. And my first one I've had since middle school, but it is torn to pieces. I think I talked about this previously. Torn to pieces. So I needed a new one. 4 copies. Anyway, sorry. The last kind of thing I have to cover from Twitter is this question here. When do you think the Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I can't read. When do you guys think Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is going to release? They think late 2025, early 2026. I am thinking probably late 2025. I started kind of covering the first FNAF movie when they were, I think, close to when they were starting to film, and that got finished so quickly, way quicker than I ever would have imagined, because I always imagined movies take forever to do anything, but it finished like super fast. But they are in the pre-production stage, I believe, which I've been told from people that I know trying to do movie stuff is one of the longer parts of the production process. So I think late 2025 would make sense if they want to keep it in like near Halloween time. They're saying November. I could also believe that. I feel like if they want to be consistent, they could just keep it around Halloween time every time. I really don't mind either way. Wouldn't mind a November release, wouldn't mind an early 2026 release. As long as the movie is good and it doesn't take like 20 years to make, I'm gonna be pretty happy, I guess. That's gonna be just about it for FNAF 2 movie news. Are you guys excited for the FNAF 2 movie? I am insanely hyped for this. I have such high hopes for this. I do want to keep my expectations a little bit lower, just a tad, but I am honestly expecting them to exceed my expectations this time around, especially because they've openly said they're listening to feedback. I think any company or producer or whatever person wants, like, if they're open about receiving feedback and stuff like that, I think that's great, and I think that's a step in the right direction. But yeah, like I said earlier, I've been kind of away from FNAF stuff for just a little bit, but I'm happy to get back into it, and I cannot wait for more movie news to come out, and you best believe I will be covering it, and I also have more stuff to come. And if you want to see that stuff, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to see more. Subscribe to stay tuned with all the things that I'm doing on this channel. I have been on a bit of a medieval fantasy game thing. I don't know, I've been covering a lot of them, but that's kind of what I've been really interested in recently, and I don't want to really burn myself out with FNAF because it is something that I really care for, and it's something that I love covering for the channel. But if I burn myself out, then I'm gonna not want to do it anymore. So yeah, hope you guys understand. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.